You belong in the circle. You belong, you belong. You belong in the circle. You belong, you belong. Not above, not below. In the circle, you belong.
Nui dai da gudo anegi longi digi yawi chigi duwagi naule yone ga no sehan chalagi no shi chalagi naule chi Mattamuskeet galishki naule udohi yu galielika niga da ijini ije doha kohig ani okanichi uweti ge doha no kujik. My name is Maura García. I'm a dancer and a choreographer. I am Anigi Lohi clan. I'm Cherokee and Mattamuskeet. And right now I am in Okanichi homeland, Haliwa-Saponi homeland, which is located in the foothills, AKA Piedmont. I found that out when I was a grown person. For some reason, they call North Carolina foothills Piedmont. I don't know why. Anyway, but that's where I'm at right now.
I'm Katie Monsell. There's no tribal affiliation as far as I know, but I'm currently in central Pennsylvania, just south of State College. I am a dancer / multimedia video editor. I went to Slippery Rock University for dance, and that was my concentration. So whenever I do dance, it tends to focus a little bit on that.
And she's the editor for this project, so yes.
Awesome, thank you, Katie.
Okay, you're welcome.
Word. I don't have a question, but I just wanted to say, Katie, the edits you did were like so amazing, and it was so beautiful to see it come together and like beyond anything I had imagined. And I really admire your work. And also Maura and Sydney, like seeing you guys dance, that was really sick to me too, because I don't know, just to get to witness y'all's expressions and what came naturally to you with the music, it was really cool.
Definitely likewise, Zuri. I and Katie, I felt really, I don't know what I was expecting the video to be like, but I don't even know if I had expectations, but it definitely just like blew it out. And I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. And like kind of like the high mom moment, like it's just like, there I am. But it was also really cool to see you dance, Zuri. I was just so curious about some of the movements that we were doing, and when you were like moving your arms kind of like around like baby, and I was like, oh my gosh, I did that too.
Well, it felt like such a story, like listening to the song, that I couldn't get away from certain like movements that it like called out, evoked. And because I grew up dancing Tahitian and hula, it's all like stories with your hands and with your body. So I think that was kind of like influenced it.
My name's Sydney Reese Krehbiel, and I too don't have any Indigenous affiliations, but currently I'm living on Kaw, Osage, and Kickapoo land, which is northeastern Kansas. And I am a aspiring textiles artist, cook, and planter. Also do farming and trying to just find unity with everyone and everything.
Well, stop. And Sydney was one of the dancers. I see, everyone knows that actually because we've seen it, sorry. Zuri?
Sorry, I'm really nervous. But my name is Zuri. I was born in North Carolina in Chapel Hill. I grew up in Hawaii, and I'm of Haliwa-Saponi descent. Right now, I've been road tripping for the past 2 months, but I'm currently on Monso, Suma, and Jumano land in El Paso, Texas. And I'm leaving today to continue my journey home to North Carolina.
And interestingly, it turns out we think that we're actually cousins. We're not exactly sure how, but we're pretty sure we are cousins. So we found this out through this project.
Yeah, which is really sick.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm last. I'm Bojo. I'm on Deshnakas. Potawatomi Anishinaabe Quain Dow. Shishi Benny. Devin Douglas. Oklahoma Dolchbia. Mina Kansas Mshode. Data. Osage. Mina Kanza. Mina Ochedi Shikawan Akik. Jigwe. Mina Mashikain Dodemig. Nimigwet. Done. I am very grateful to be here. Elexa Dawson. I'm also here in Kansas, but I'm about 10 miles west of Emporia in the Flint Hills, out here on the prairie. On that Osage and Kanza territory is also maybe not a homeland, but definitely a territory for the Ochedi Shikawan. Yeah, I'm really pleased to be a part of this. So thank you so much for having me and for wanting to do this project with a song, Maura. And yeah, it turned out so beautifully. I'm just so pleased.
Oh, Osta, which means good.
Excited to see it and to see, you know, where it reaches and who it reaches, and very appreciative of this collaboration, especially, you know, with, you know, getting to do this just like women project. It's very cool.
Very empowering.
Mm-hmm.
And Alexa, I also just wanted to thank you and say that, like, everything you were saying about feeling like you don't belong sometimes and how that inspired the song, or like being a personal, how do you say, like, holdback or insecurity or something like that, if those are the right words. It's been really powerful because through this, like, those were the exact things that I was kind of like healing out of. So I wanted to thank you for all the energy that you brought in that process.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, like Alexa, for being open to letting us work with your music. Yeah, just thank y'all for being open. And, you know, in terms of a circle, I always think about how we get left out or leave people out either intentionally or unintentionally. And the thing I always think about is whether you're like this to somebody, you know, or whether you are like this, because if you're in a group of people, you can so simply make someone feel connected.
I think we all owe a big thanks to you too, just for bringing us all together in this beautiful project. I mean, you're kind of the mastermind behind bringing us all together. So yeah, thank you so much for bringing us all together, making this a reality for all of us.
Mm-hmm. Yes, wonderful vision and skilled follow through.
Oh, I'm putting that on my resume. Oh, well, y'all have been really easy to work with. When COVID first hit, I was really trying to, I do a lot of solo work, and then sometimes I'll work with other people's dance companies, but it's not something I had by choice. It was kind of by necessity, and I was very much wanting to create with a team, to dance with other people, to share this stage space, because I always collaborated with other artists in my work, but sometimes I'd be the only person on stage. And I thought, you know, I don't want that. I want to share space with people. And I want to share space with people who maybe like on the same level of vibration as me, having the same kind of shared values, and have that be what is being transmitted from a performance space. And then COVID hit, and I was like, great, you know, my ideas of sharing space and dancing with people, this is not going to happen. And then I saw a performance by Dancing Earth, so I have to give a shout out to Ruland Tangent and Dancing Earth. And they did this whole performance where all their dancers were in separate places. I think some of them, I'm not even sure all of them were on Amayetli, or like Turtle Island. And so at times they were sharing the screen, you know, at times they were doing solos, at times they were superimposed. And I thought, oh, you know, of course we can still share space. We can share space virtually. We can be melded together virtually to make it seem as if we're sharing space. But then I started thinking about, well, how can we, like, not that there's a division between physical and spiritual, there is no division, but in English, I'm going to have to talk about it this way. I was like, how can we share space spiritually? And I thought, well, there's earth, there's water, there's air, there's fire. I thought, well, water is a way, water and time. And so I thought, what about if we are all at waterways, at roughly the same time, we will be connected through water. And because water, all rivers and streams, they eventually run to the sea. So that was the idea. And I don't know, like Sydney and Zuri popped into my head as people to work with. And I couldn't even tell you why. It was, I did specifically want to work, with women of color. That was something I wanted. And people who were just interested in, like Zuri said, connection with all things and all people. And people that I knew that when we were dancing in that space at the same time, they would be able to go there. And so, and then I thought, okay, but I want us to have a song that is also unifying us. And when I didn't have a song, I thought maybe I'll have my brother do something. I thought maybe, James would make something, but I started realizing I really wanted this to be a project of women. And when I heard Alexa's song, and I cried, like many of y'all, when I first heard that song, I was just like crying, just weeping. And I thought, this is the song. This is exactly what we're talking about. This is what we're talking about. And so I gave everyone some basic prompts, and the idea was that, okay, well, we're going to be in the same time frame. We're going to all be at water at the same time. We're going to be wearing roughly the same thing. And I asked both Zuri and Sydney, and they gave, ideas about kind of a general costume idea. And I thought, all right, well, I'm not going to try to make some like serious, crazy, complicated choreography, but I thought, what if we have movement prompts? What if we say, okay, go to the water and, improv to this song. Let that be one of the things that you do, but also look down the river, at one point. Also splash at one point, splash with hands, splash with legs, and offer your prayers of connectivity and connection and love to the world, And so those were the prompts, and that's what we did. On that one day we chose and recorded. They did a wonderful job. And then I started editing the project. I picked the clips that I liked, and I thought, well, you know what? I could edit this. I could do this. And I thought, one, I don't actually want to do this. That was one thing. But two, I thought, I want another person's creative vision on this as well. I want somebody else's lens, and I want it to be a woman. And I immediately thought of Katie, who has already actually done a whole piece where she's submerged in water, and it's very cool, and it's got projections. And we were introduced. I was supposedly supposed to be helping her, but she ended up being my video teacher. and so I thought Katie is perfect. And I asked her, and she agreed. And I've been so happy with the layers of beautiful spirits involved with this, and that this is a woman, directed and controlled project, because this, unfortunately, it's very sexist world of arts and performance. I'm always surprised, but I keep on learning more how, unfortunately, lack of representation is out there. So I'm really just pleased with how this has come together. And now I will be quiet, and maybe, I don't know, would you like to speak, Elexa, about your thoughts behind the song? And I know we kind of asked you, and then made it, and then you're back in again. So if you just want to give your thoughts about, maybe about the song, we would love to hear that.
Sure. I went to Pokagon Band to a food summit last year in April. And, anytime I go into a new place, this is a tightly knit community, and I felt like I was outside of the circle, I felt like I was coming in as a stranger, or you know, and that I would need to sort of like earn my place or earn respect or earn trust, you know, in this new place. And with the trauma that Indigenous peoples often carry, that there's real reasons, right, for why we are a little gun shy going into new places, or a little bit, you know, just like don't want to step on anyone's toes or upset people. So this was sort of like my posture going into this place. And of course, I had absolutely nothing to worry about. And the people that I interacted with during that week were so kind and approachable. And I developed such great friendships there. And on the way home, I was driving in the van and just really became overwhelmed with gratitude for the lesson that I'd learned. And that was that, you know, we have a tendency to kind of put people on pedestals sometimes when we feel that they have more knowledge, or that they have more talent, or they have more whatever it is, whatever the qualifier happens to be. And so like that idea of not being below, but then the also, you know, the not above part of recognizing that we are all, you know, in my traditions, we are siblings with, you know, the plant nations and animal nations. You know, they're not here under our subjection or whatever. In fact, we are dependent upon them for our life, for our food, for the air that we breathe, for the clean water that we drink. You know, all of the plant and animal nations are doing that work for us, and we are the ones who are sort of pitiful in this situation, right? So the not above and not below is just, you know, pretty self-explanatory, but it covers so many things, you know, interpersonal relationships, allowing people to live in peace in the way that they are capable of right now, even. So yeah, it just kind of came in the van on the way home. And it's one of those songs that I hoped in writing it that people would take and make their own. And, you know, if you got a new verse to sing in your community, then do it. You know, it really meant to be a community song. So seeing this kind of thing happen with it is very gratifying. Miigwech.
Osta. Hawashki.
Well, I was really pleased to be invited to be a part of this. Maura, right before she moved away, we were neighbors. It was like the day before she moved, or a couple of days before, and she was kind of like dropping off things that wouldn't fit in her overflowing truck. And we were just talking, and she asked me if I wanted to be a part of a dance project. And I think at that point, the only time Maura had seen me dance was by maybe mistake of me she came over for dinner, and I was trying to get out of my housemate's way and did it in a slick way, apparently. And Maura asked if I had danced, and then, you know, that time came and she asked me, and I was like, okay. Then waited for a while to hear back about things, and then Zuri, Maura, and I all got on the phone, and that was really exciting. That was really like putting things in real time. And then the day that it came to dance was, it was a really amazing day. I woke up with a lot of excitement, and the night before I had been thinking about it a lot too, of just what jewelry I was going to wear was a big thing. I wanted to wear my mom's jewelry, and I did. And I also borrowed one of my housemates, Rosie's, earrings to wear too. And it just was kind of like woman power, you know? And being there in the water was kind of like lesson after lesson, I felt like, because there were, first it was just like, I just felt so like vulnerable and open being out there and like not dancing inside of walls, which was new for me, like dancing in my bedroom or downstairs or in the club or whatever, and just a freeness of dancing and just like really letting go, especially when there's people walking by and canoeing and all of that. And there was a point towards the end when I was dancing and just feel like there was a group of women that were canoeing, and I didn't realize that they were women until they were just like waving and kind of like cheering me on or whatever. I was like, yes, this is what I need. And like felt really good. But even before that, when we got the link to Alexa's song, the first time hearing it was not the only time that it choked me up and just made me feel like overabundant love. And I don't know, I mean, yeah, it was really good. And then after wrapping up at the river, driving home was really nice. And I just felt at peace that whole day, and even like carried on into the next couple of days as well. So yeah, that's my story. I'm really happy and pleased to be a part of this and very proud.
Thank you. Thank you, Sydney. Now, Zuri. Nihi nogu.
I'm gonna try not to get tongue-tied because there's just been so many layers of healing that this project brought to me. But I guess to begin with, I recently graduated from the University of North Carolina, and I had been in some really negative cycles. And so like after graduation in May, I was really trying to center healing and like coming up with rituals and like daily practices that I was gonna help to cultivate wellness in my life. And it was really, really serendipitous and just beautiful, because I think it was maybe 3 days exactly after I had promised myself, like, I'm going to start dancing a little bit every day because that's something that you've always loved and that's always been a part of your being. Then Maura messaged me and brought up this project. And I was like, wow, that's so dope. Like, and it was even because I had promised myself it and I hadn't quite been sticking to it. So it was like this beautiful way of encouraging that goal. And then on another day that was like a hard day, Maura posted the circle song, but I didn't know at all that that was a song that we were going to dance to. When I listened to it, it just like, I cried, but I rose up and I like immediately started dancing, and I wanted to make art about the song. Like, it was so inspiring and beautiful and healing. And then when I found out that that would be the song we were dancing to, it was just a mind blower. And on top of all of that, like as this process was unfolding, I thought it would be something that we were going to record like later in the year, which I was a little bit nervous about because we had talked about dancing in the water, and I knew that I wasn't going to be in North Carolina in the time period that I thought we would be doing the project. So I felt strange about like dancing in waters that I didn't have any connection to. But then Maura was like, oh, so would you guys be good with doing it this weekend? And that weekend I had planned to go and meet my ancestral waters for the first time. So it was like, whoa, like that's a big sign. And I had also just finished, I grew some tobacco this summer, and I wanted to take it to these places that I hadn't been before and offer it to the land. And then when Maura was recommending places that she knew that were like, didn't have a lot of people around, and she said she sent a link to this place called Meetup Mountain. And when I opened the link, the first line on the website said, like, it's running through it is Fishing Creek, and that was the exact river that all of my female ancestors have lived on back for 8 generations. So it was just like a very, very, very powerful and healing experience. And to be able to offer my dance, which is like such a core aspect of, I think, like human expression of love, music and dance, to be able to offer it to the river and to offer my tobacco for the first time, it was like a very, very just wonderful experience. And I've played the song for all the women in my family, and they're all really proud. And my Nana, she keeps saying how happy she is that I was able to be a part of something, because she thinks that it's like a vehicle of unity. And anyway, I'm just really grateful to all of you in this entire experience.
Shkee, Zuri. I'm trying not to cry over here. Maybe I'll just give up. But last but not least, Katie.
All right, yeah, so as Maura explained earlier, I'm the editor for this video, and honestly, it was obviously honored, but also a little nervous. This is the first professional video I've officially done. Everything else was more academic. But yeah, as she said, I had made films before, I made multimedia projects before, but never something to this extent. And all of my previous projects and even current projects, they're all very experimental. They do a lot with self-filming. Like, I don't normally have anybody else film me. I film and dance everything myself, including the multimedia projects. So just being a part of this was an incredibly different experience in a good way. And like what Maura said in the beginning, like, 2020 has been just a wreck for a lot of artists, and particularly, and I know it's not just me in particular. I know a lot of friends personally. Like, this is the year we graduated. It was supposed to be, our year. We were supposed to go get it, and for so many of us, those plans got put on hold. I mean, including my own dance projects. It came down from, well, you can't film here, there's too many people, or we won't be able to go this year, or, and I've stayed here with my parents, which I'm grateful for, but there's not a lot of space to film or dance. So I really suffered, not just physically as a dancer, but mentally, just I haven't done anything almost all year. And then Maura contacts me, and literally the headline of the email is, "Can I hire you?" And I'm like, "Oh, heck yeah, you can hire me." And she sent me the drive from all of you dancing. And I saw clips of you guys dancing before I actually heard the song. So that was pretty cool, just to see pure movement in that. And then I heard the song, which, by the way, Alexa, yes, I teared up too, just listening to that. So starting, like, the wheels again just started turning, and like, that was the nail on the head. When I heard that song, it's like, oh, I'm gonna do a lot with this. About 3 weeks and 5 drafts later, this is what we have. So I'm incredibly grateful to all of you, especially Maura, for reaching out to me, all of you for being a part of this beautiful project, because it's truly been, it's meant the world to me. So, it couldn't have happened, honestly, at a more fitting time. So I've lost members of my family. It's been hard. I mean, being involved in this has gotten me through all of that. So thank you, all of you.
Thank you, Katie. Thank you. Yeah, I sometimes I do things and don't think about them. You do them, and you think about them before and just do and do. So I'm grateful to all of you to hear this from all of you all. Yeah, I think a lot of people have lost a lot. Whole communities have lost people. Some people have lost their very close dear ones. We've lost income. Many of us have moved back in with our parents, myself included, and just all kinds of things have been lost. So it's beautiful to have something that has been gained.
You belong in the circle. You belong, you belong. You belong in the circle. You belong, you belong. Not above, not below. In the circle, you belong. You were born in the circle. You belong. were born in the circle. You belong, you belong. Not above, not below. In the circle you belong. All of life is a circle. You belong, you belong. All of life is a circle. You belong, you belong. Not above, not below. In the circle you belong. There is love in the circle. We belong, we belong. We have peace in the circle. We belong, we belong. Not above, not below. In the circle we belong. Not above, not below. In the circle we belong.
When I started this project, you know, the whole point and what I wanted was to connect. I just wanted to connect with other dancers, with other artists. And I guess I didn't realize how important it would be to other people. I didn't realize how moving it would be to other people. And it really made me realize how important our work is as artists and creators, and what it can mean to people in their lives, and the deep kind of change it can bring about, not only to people watching, but to the people participating. And that a way to heal is not only through the distribution, through the sharing, but involving people in the doing, that is as important part of the healing. And when the people doing are being healed, then that healing becomes multiple fold, multiple fold, multiple fold, multiple fold, when it is then shared. So thank you for letting me begin and work in and orchestrate and help this sharing grow.